Chapter 15. What to do when VITO picks up the phone.
VITO, the CEO, president, or owner, is sitting at the desk. It's a busy day, lots of stuff going on. VITO is signing checks, shaking hands, patting backs, looking at financial reports, and so on. The phone rings, and Tommy, VITO's private assistant, isn't around to answer it. VITO will never, ever let the phone ring without someone answering it, and in this case, that someone is VITO. What's likely to happen? Well, if you're prepared with your opening statement, you're going to have a conversation with VITO. Let's start by reviewing what VITO will not tolerate from you.
12 situations VITO will not tolerate. Number 1, long drawn-out monologues. Number 2, stupid questions that you should already know the answer to. Number 3, uncertainty as to what you want. Number 4, words and phrases that are unfamiliar. Number 5, wasting VITO's precious time. Number 6, unfamiliarity with VITO's industry or niche. Number 7, any lack of confidence. Number 8, any kind of BS. Number 9, ego-based statements of any kind. Number 10, any mention of VITO's competition. Number 11, any claims without evidence. Number 12, mispronouncing VITO's name. You didn't really want to go to any of those dumb places during this call, did you? Now let's look at what VITO expects.
VITO's 2 expectations. Number 1, valuable content, namely, something VITO doesn't already know, something VITO wants to overachieve, something said in a way that VITO easily understands, apparent knowledge about VITO's industry, some knowledge about VITO's company, clarity on the outcome you want from the call. Number 2, confident delivery, including quick to the point focused statements, a conversational tone, you making sure that VITO has plenty of chances to interrupt.
Let's look at our first scenario.
You just dialed VITO's number. You hear the phone ring once, twice, 3 times, and then VITO picks up. VITO will say something pretty darn close to, "Good morning, this is VITO. How can I help you?" What you say in response will determine the tone of the whole call. Of course, you won't be using the word I, your own name, your company name, or anything equally stupid. Now, listen to this helpful list.
Stupid things you will not say at this critical moment. Is this a good time? Do you have a minute? I was wondering if... Would you be interested in... I was just making some calls. The purpose of my call is... How are you today?
Instead of any of those dumb things, you'll say, "Mr. Benefito." That's it. That's all. Stop right there. That's all you'll be saying to get the conversation going, is VITO's name. Here's the only exception to this. If VITO answers the telephone with his or her own full name, "VITO Benefito, how can I help you?" Don't repeat it. Instead, use their title and the company name like this. "The CEO of VITO Incorporated?" VITO's response, "Yep, that's me all right." Remember, VITO usually isn't just sitting around waiting for the phone to ring. VITO is busy, and when people are busy, the quickest and most effective way to break the dominant preoccupation is to say the person's name. Stay formal with Mr. VITO Benefito or Ms. Importanta until VITO invites you to use his or her first name. Here's what you'll say next. "It's an honor to finally speak with you," or "Thanks for picking up the phone," or "Thanks for taking my call," or "Thanks for taking the time to talk with me," or "You're just the person who'll appreciate this." That's it. That's all. Stop right there. What you just delivered is what I call a pleasantry. Yes, it's different. Yes, it's brief. And yes, when you say it, pause at the end to give Vito a chance to interrupt you and say something like this. "Well, why do you think it's an honor to speak with me?" When it happens, it's a great way to get started building equal business stature with Vito. You could respond with something like, "Well, getting to speak with the CEO of an organization that's had 4 consecutive years of double-digit growth is not only an honor, but a great opportunity for both of us." It's possible, of course, that the conversation might go like this. Vito might respond with, "Well, who is this?" Then you could say, "It's Will Prosper," with a thought that may be important to both of us, or an idea that may be important to both of us, or with a proven repeatable process that may be important to both of us.
Here's what you'll say next.
The CEO of the world's largest electronic manufacturer increased shareholder value and reduced cycle time by 63 days while eliminating $87.9 million in a major cost category in just 144 days. That's it. That's all. Stop right there. What you just heard should really sound familiar to you. It's the verbal rendition of the headline you put at the top of your VITO correspondence we created a little earlier in the book. With one small twist, you added a reference to a title, another CEO, which is the same title as the Vito you're calling and happen to be talking with right now. If you did happen to send your Vito letter, and you happen to be calling at the time you said you would in your action PS, and Vito did happen to pick up the phone, what you're saying here would remind Vito of the letter that came the other day, and that's a very good thing. Once Vito remembers that uniquely written, intriguing letter, Vito is likely to say something like this. "Hey, this sounds familiar. Where did I read this? Did you send me a letter or something like that?" Your response? "Yep, sure did, Mr. Benefito. What did you think of it?" Or your response? "Yes, Mr. Benefito. We suspect that similar or even greater results could happen at your organization between now and the end of this calendar quarter." Even if Vito doesn't remember your correspondence, it's very possible that you will hear something like, "Well, how the heck did you do that in this economy?" Then you would give a brief 10 to 15 second answer to this question that spotlights your team, not you, and the benefits of doing business with your organization. Then,
if you don't get interrupted, here's what you'll say next.
You could say something like, "Mr. Benefito, who on your team would you like for me to continue this conversation with between now and the end of this business day?" Or you could say something like, "Ms. Importanta, does this touch on issues that are of concern to you by the end of this month or quarter or half or year?" Always put time with this ending question. Or you could say something like, "Are you interested in similar or even greater results by the end of this year?" Or you could say something like, "Is this something that's consistent with what you're trying to achieve this month or this quarter or this half or this year?" Here again, always put time with these ending questions. Or you could say something like, "Mr. Benefito, in your opinion, what's the best way for us to pursue this issue, goal, conversation, idea between now and the end of this," and now put time with it, "the end of this business day, the end of this business week, the end of the month, quarter, half, year, whatever." That's it. That's all. Stop right there. This is your ending question. At this point, there's no way that Vito will dismiss you or your offer. Yes, you may get some questions. Yes, you may get shunted to one or more of Vito's decision makers. All of these are outcomes that can lead you to another conversation with Vito. And gets you one step closer to a permanent zip code in sales heaven.
Putting it all together.
Let's take a look at what you just did. You started your telephone opening statement by saying Vito's name, Mr. Benefito or Ms. Importanta. Then you said a pleasantry like, "It's an honor to speak with you." Then you paused for a quick moment and continued with your hook. The CEO of the world's largest electronic manufacturer increased shareholder value and reduced cycle time by 63 days while eliminating $87.9 million in direct costs in just 144 days. Then, after you paused for a quick moment, you continued with an ending question. "Mr. Benefito, who on your team would you like for me to continue this conversation with between now and the end of this business day?" Right now, you may be thinking, "Hey, wait a minute, Tony. I didn't get a chance to say my name." And that ending question would just get me sent to someone else and give Vito a chance to wiggle away from me.
You're right on both counts.
No, you didn't say your name. In fact, you made a point of not volunteering your name. Although you did give it whenever you were asked directly. And yes, you did set up a shunt to someone else at VITO Incorporated. You did both of these things for a very good reason. First, you didn't use your name in your opening statement because until you're otherwise informed, VITO doesn't care what your name is. If VITO wants to know your name, they'll ask you. And secondly, you didn't ask VITO for anything other than a shunt to someone in VITO's organization, namely one of their direct reports, because getting a shunt to a decision maker is the whole point of this call. I'll show you exactly what to do with that shunt a little bit later on in this audio book. If you want to get on the fast track and get all those C-suite appointments you've worked hard for and deserve so you could sell more faster and crush your quota in the process, then all you need to do is go to our site, VITOSalesTraining.com. Click on the Take Action tab, scroll down till you see the VITO University logo, and check it out. And in the meantime, have yourself a masterful rest of the day. Bye-bye.